Hello and welcome. I'm Carol DeChaine, your certified life and business coach, intuitive and marconic multidimensional energy practitioner and teacher. Today I'm continuing on with our online dating. And people ask me sometimes, well, why are you talking about some of these off the wall subjects? To me, they're not off the wall. They're all part of having your life be more filled with joy. And having a love interest, of course, is something that will help you. So today in part two, I'm going to be talking about pictures and bios and how to do those. I've interviewed on my podcast, Living Your Limitless Life, Carol Allen, who is an expert on Love is in the Stars, and she talks a lot about finding online a person online when you're dating, and she talks also about bios and about pictures, and some of this is from her and some of this is my own experience that I found. So the best thing to do is to look at everybody else's. If you can look and see without actually logging in at some of the women and what they have to say, you can see that sometimes they're kind of strange. And you're going to find that if you actually are on there and you're looking at the other sexes, what they have to say, some people don't bother with pictures. And I don't think they're going to get all that many people saying, yay, let me meet you. I don't know what you look like. I couldn't meet you in public because I have no idea what you look like. And sometimes they don't even do a bio. Why they even bother? It's like, look, you got no picture and no bio. Why would anybody even ask for you to have any information for you? I mean, with none whatsoever. So if you look at it, you can really tell how much effort that people take. Sometimes they have one picture and minimal information on the bio. They don't fill in hardly anything. Other times they have 4 or 5 pictures, no bio, or no pictures and a long bio. And then there are those that really are in for the long haul because they're there because they really want to be. They're not, as well as I have said before, they're not doing it half-assed. Okay? They're not doing it because, what the heck? They're doing it because they seriously are looking for someone. And when they're looking for someone, they're going to bother taking the time for pictures. They're going to bother putting something down in a bio that makes sense. Something that what they're really, who they are and what they're looking for. So that's how you can tell. And sometimes, yeah, you're still going to run into somebody who isn't real or who has copied a bio from somebody else. But what do you want and what are you looking for? So doing a little research on others is helpful. But highly recommended when you take pictures, make sure you have one full body shot so people know what they're looking at because you want people to not be surprised. Really, it makes more sense to have somebody, if you're a little overweight, to have someone who doesn't mind that or who loves that. If they're looking for somebody who's a stick and you're totally overweight, how are you ever going to face them when you have to meet them? Do fairly recent shots. Even if they're a year or two, that's fine if you haven't changed much, but don't do a 30-year-old picture. Unless it's the only one and you have a note saying, hey, high school graduation, or when I met some famous person, and then put the year there so people don't go, and don't be think that be the only picture that you have out there. Have some close-up shots, but make sure, oh my God, make sure you smile, at least in one of the shots, and usually the first one that you put up there. If you have to and you know you don't take very good pictures, find someone who is either a professional photographer, and I know that costs money, or maybe a friend who takes really good pictures and you see them take pictures all the time. So at least they're willing to do it for you. Maybe you offer them pizza. Say, hey, come over for pizza. If you'll take pictures, I'll buy the pizza and the beer. Whatever you're willing to do. Perhaps that they're willing to wait around while you try on 4 or 5 different outfits. I had a friend like that. We had some wine. This was about 4 years ago, and we just went ahead and had a ball. She took lots of pictures, and they still look like me. So I still have 1 or 2 of those up whenever I do online dating. I will take 1 or 2 of those pictures and put them up there. So look at what you've chosen. Don't put the same outfit on 5 times, so 5 different pictures just because they look good of the same outfit. It looks like you're doing a photo shoot. And they look professional, but they don't look real. So they might think you had them touched up. So really look maybe on your screen at all these different options and choose down to, because you can have 5 or 6, choose some that you like, and then you can ask other people's opinions. Say, hey, these are the ones I like. Which one do you think? especially the opposite sex. Say, hey, here's 4 of the same type. Maybe the full body shot, you only want 1. So you give them, here's 4 or 5 with maybe 2 outfits or maybe even 3 outfits. What do you think? You're going to get different answers. But say, hey, when you give me answers, which one you like, tell me why. Because there's certain things that you want to put out there. If you're a little shy, you may not want to look sexy. Maybe that's something that makes you uncomfortable. So if they say, wow, this was great, you look so sexy, you go, ugh, let's not put that one. But at least you know going in. Or maybe this one goes, you have great legs, you should put this one in. Or wow, you look really, really great in this one. Your hair looks wonderful, you have a great smile, it's posed well. I mean, whatever their answer is of why, then you'll know if that appeals to you or not. If that's the result you want to get from the opposite, especially the opposite sex. I've asked my girlfriends as well, which is invaluable, but that's not who you're really going for. You actually want the opposite sex to look at the pictures to say, well, unless of course if you're gay, then you ask the same sex. But whoever it is you're looking as an answer to, then you can ask that person. There are multiple reasons why you don't want to have other people in your shots. You can fuzz out their face, but sometimes you look at them and you go, wow, there's 4 people. Oh, this guy's attractive. This is me looking. This guy's attractive. And I go, which one is he? Oh, it's that one. Well, darn. Oh, I wish it was him. So you don't really want to have other people in your shots. Now, maybe you'll have your children occasionally in your shots, but don't have too many of those. If you want people to know, hey, I got 3 kids, have 1 shot with the 3 kids doing something, because that way it'll be obvious. If you live your life for your dog or your cat, have 1 picture with your animal. But I have to tell you, if you have a dog and you're a man and you're looking for a woman, always have at least 1 picture up with your dog, unless you hate your dog, because that will soften many women's hearts. And if they don't like your dog, they're not going to like you. Because many times, either way, if you have an animal and it's your life, you call them your baby, or females, let me tell you, if you don't have a guy that likes you and your animal, there could be some issues. And you want to make sure if you are a cat lover and you have 10 cats, you don't get somebody who's allergic to cats, because it's not going to work for very long. No matter how much they love you, once they walk in your house, they will not be able to breathe. Make sure that you put out there, even if it's just in 1 picture, that part of your life, if it matters to you. But a lot of women love dogs, me. So if you're a guy and you're listening and you want to put that out there, that you do have a dog, it doesn't have to be your first picture, but it should be one so that women can go, aw. That's one reason why sometimes I'll decide on a yes instead of a no on the first connection. Just because I like to sit, I want to meet the dog. The guy seems fine, but I want to meet the dog, and it kind of weighs in their favor because they have the dog. So enough of that. But another thing you want to do is if you have travel shots, that's great, but don't only have travel shots. Make sure that you also have, hey, I'm a normal person kind of shot. If you like to get dressed up, have at least 1 dressed up outfit. And if you don't ever want to get dressed up, then do not put any dressed up outfit. Don't put something in a tux, because you're false advertising. Don't do things that are going to mislead people if ultimately what you want, you never wear what you put in the picture. You don't want somebody who expects things from you that you don't want to give them. And then later you go, well, what were you thinking? Going, oh, duh. I got this person who is wonderful, but who has no interest in the things I have, because I showed them pictures that were misleading. So think about all those things. Make sure you have a full profile, face forward, smile. And if you need to, make sure that I try 2 different things to see what works better. For me personally, being a spiritual person, I will connect to my highest source and then take the picture, because I feel like I glow more when that happens. And the other thing that I do is I picture looking through the camera at the person I actually will end up with, and that loving feeling comes through. So those are 2 different ideas you can have. If you feel like you get nobody, when you take your pictures, try one of those 2 things and see what happens. See if you don't go, wow, I look different than I'm used to. I actually took a good picture. Or perhaps you're going, wow, I feel like this one might really connect to somebody. So go ahead and give those some thoughts. And then make sure the 1 profile picture that they force you to have is your best profile shot where it's only this big and not some far away thing. Sometimes they won't let you have one of those, but make sure it's one that you can push your best foot forward, whichever one that may be. Now, looking at bios, that's totally different. Make sure that you don't have to fill out every single thing, because sometimes they have 20 questions and they want you to fill in every single thing, but you don't have to. So at least fill in 5 or 6 or 7 of them to show that you care, things that you would have good answers for. And other times they have a bio. Now, a bio can be anything from 2 or 3 lines, and that's all they give you, to this huge long thing. I highly recommend you putting everything out there on a Word document, everything you want to say. See what happens. See how far it goes. If it's this big because you can't think of anything, or it's like a lot, you'll be able to, you can go to a free website, one of the free dating services, and check out what other people say, and then go ahead and steal some of those ideas if you need to. But generally, you want to be fairly light. You don't want to sound desperate. You don't want to be negative. Make sure that you are happy. You put out there that you love your life, that it's going well. Most people don't want to be around what they call a Debbie Downer. Some people do. But if you don't want to attract someone like that, you don't want to put that, I've been trying, I don't know if this stuff is going to work. I think I'll try it again. Guess what? It's not going to work probably, because your attitude is going to draw to you. It doesn't work. So think about, type it out. You're going to have to make it smaller, less, add in lines. What do you have to offer for someone? And what are you looking for? Try and make it interesting, a little bit of a story rather than I want and then a list. This is who I am. List, 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 list. I like this. I do this. I am this, this, this. And this is what I'm looking for. List, 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 list. Boring. Sometimes it can be the same for everybody. Everybody's going to say, I want somebody honest. I want somebody who works for their living, who actually knows how to deal with money, or whatever it is, who has money, whatever you want to say. But as you go along, it sounds the same for everybody and it doesn't stand out. So maybe you say, well, if you get me, like I have been trained in acupressure and I give a really good massage. So I might say, hey, extra perk. I give a great massage. Don't mind getting them either. Whatever you want to say. Sometimes that might be a little too, I don't know, it's putting out there the sex thing. It's not for me because maybe, but it's not the only thing. I do a great massage. I don't have to have anything in mind with sex. But then again, it could be. It could be great fun. So it just depends on what you want to put out there. Maybe what you say instead is, I make great chocolate chip cookies. I make a great flan. Whatever it is you can cook. Maybe that's what you put out there. Or you put out there that and men, if you love sports, make sure you put that out there. If you live and breathe and die by sports, make sure you get somebody who does the same types of things. Or the person will be bored beyond belief if all you're doing is watching TV sports all the time and are with the guys. If they can't be there with you enjoying it, neither one of you will have a good time. Don't be afraid to put that out there. Or if you're into water sports, I've had people where I look at the person and go, ooh, attractive. And then I'll stop and I'll read the bio. And as I'm reading it, I'm going, oh, likes to camp, likes to fish, oh dear. And I'm reading it, I'm going, this is not me. They would not be happy with me. And I wouldn't be happy with them. Too many things that I don't do. And I think it's great to have not 100% matched interests, because then maybe either they get their free time, you get yours, or else you learn to love something new. But you want to make sure that you put out there the things that are the most important to you. This is a deal breaker. So you don't have to put it that way, but you have to at least mention those things. Absolutely love sports. Can't get enough of it. And then move on. That's all you have to say. But something that will show who you are, what you're looking for, and that you're not desperate. Nobody really wants somebody who's desperate unless it's one of the people who are scamming you. And then they're happy to see that you're desperate because they'll take advantage. Let people know that you're okay who you are, assuming you are, that you just want to share your life with someone, that it would be fun. You're hoping it's going to be a great combination. Whatever you want to say, but make sure that you do it from a place not of lack, but of this is who I am, just very honest, very sincere, and see what happens. And be willing to tweak it because sometimes it won't work. You'll attract people you go, why did they respond to me? And then it's consistently somebody who isn't working that you go, they all like the same thing, and none of those people like what I like. And if it's the same type of person, then look at what you're saying, and maybe you need to adjust something in your bio or your pictures. It's okay to just put it out there. You don't have to have it perfect when you first start. But know that you can tweak it. And know that the bios are 2 or 3 lines in some of them with lots of questions you have to answer. And others, the bios are really long, like I said. Don't feel that you need to make it super long, but don't make it 2 or 3 lines. Make sure that you have maybe 2 or 3 different bios that you can just plop in there depending on what feels right for you and what space they allow you. And then go in and choose the pictures that show you at your best light, that show the smile, that show you doing something you love, not with a ton of people, maybe one with your animal. You have a llama, you love your llama. I don't know why that comes to mind, but whatever it is, have some pictures and don't have any with a bunch of people that look better than you. Because every time they're going to go, oh, that's not her? Well, or that's not him? I've looked at those pictures and gone, ooh. Like I said before, I choose the wrong person sometimes and go, oh, that's sad. Who is that? And then try not to take pictures that look so different one from the other that it doesn't look like the same person. They may not believe that it's you. Unless you put on the notes, because sometimes you put notes at the bottom, you can put the year, and you can also put down me trying a different hair color, or me trying to be a redhead, or me trying to be a blonde, or something, so that it's like, oh, it's the same person. And they might go, well, I really liked you as a blonde. You look great. So whatever it is, just make sure that you might want to label those pictures just so people know how long ago they were and that you're still actively looking. Because sometimes those whole bios that they put up there with the pictures and everything, they leave them up even after the person's no longer looking. So they could be 5 or 10 years old and you don't even know. Thank you for joining me here. I hope you've learned a lot about online dating with choosing bios. I highly recommend going to Living Your Limitless Life podcast and checking out the one with Carol Allen. She does have people working with her all the time on this, and I'm sure she'd love to hear from you, as would I. Until next week, if you like what you hear, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell notification, and check out my website, www.connect2joy.com. That's connect the number 2 joy.com, and you'll find that below this video. And if you'd like to work with me or have questions, you can comment below, or you can also email me at the email also below this video. Until next week, I hope you know that you are already enough to have that joyful, limitless life that you desire.